Okay. And I think we are live. Hello, everybody. Hello. How's everyone doing today? Okay, you read the title. You know what we're doing. We are going back to finish or do more of that 3D art, salt, and pepper thing. And I'm just checking to make sure, yep, my stream is working. And, oh, one sec, I actually made a minor mistake, and I think I may or may not have forgotten to put chat up, but I'll fix that real quick. Yeah, so to catch up, last time I tried this, there were some lag problems, but I think we should have been able to fix it. Also, if I sound different, that's because I got a new pop filter. Yeah, I just need to find the stream settings in YouTube. I find my models might be drifting all over the place right now because I'm kind of looking to the right, because that's where my alternate monitor I use for like managing the stream is. Okay. Almost there. And this is why you do this kind of stuff with the chat in advance. Okay. Just gotta pop out. And here. And oh, also this week I got the customized URLs. So basically, instead of like the mess of numbers that you'd have to do in the past to like reach my channel or any other channel, you can now just type in youtube.com/secretoftheore. I think that's it. It's in the description, but it's time to model. And if we transition to a Blender scene, okay, so since last time I made my one minor change of I changed it from cycles to Eevee, and that should help the performance of this stream like a lot. The reason this is important is because cycles is ray tracing based and not like the ray tracing you'd find on like an RTX card, although it does utilize that. This is more powerful, so because it doesn't have the expectation of running in real time like you would need for ray tracing on like a video game or something. And what Eevee does is it moves it to the CPU-ish, but it doesn't use like the overly powerful ray tracing. But although it might have some quality effects, we can simulate a few things if we give it a second. Oh god, she's gonna crash. This is not the way I want to start the stream. There. Notice the shadows look slightly off, but it won't look like that in the final render. But we can get some of the effects back by adding screen space to reflection. Oh, it's still compiling the shaders. If you've seen that, there it goes. Yeah, it's like it could have sworn they had like more stuff than that. There. So now we have some actual stuff, but this lost its transparency, which we can quickly fix by try alpha blend for this. Oh, great. Okay, and we do have one other problem we need to work on for the stream that we had last stream of just the method I used was way too much for it. There. See, it's practically indistinguishable unless you're looking closely. but we still have the main problem of salt. And you notice the frame rate on Blender immediately drops the moment we do that, and it doesn't really look like salt. So that is what we're going to be working on today. Now, in the bottom right, I might be blocking it. You could see just that where it says triangles, actually vertices. That is the sheer amount of like little dots that make up it. Like every vertex C is one of these dots, which adds to a greater thing. Think of it kind of like pixels. I'll move back there. But we have some serious stuff to fix. Okay. The one, I didn't really end up liking the model I used for that. So, what is it using as the base? It's been a bit since I last did this project. Like, oh, it's S Mini. Okay, so if we change this, it should change the salt. If I could actually find it, that is. Oh, there it is. I just have the collection hidden. And for the time being, I'm going to hide this. There. So this is the mess behind all of our problems, pretty much. So for each one of these, I'm just gonna replace it with a bit of a warped cube to get that salt effect a bit more. And we're just gonna stretch it like this. And by putting these, it won't look as realistic, but it should help with the issues we had last time. Okay, scale it on the y-axis. And randomize it. And let's give it a different seed. There. So it looks kind of different from one. And lastly, 3. And same thing that I did for the other two. It's been a bit since I last Wait, I totally forgot to give these smooth shading. What are you? Oh, there. Okay, object, shade, smooth. Object, shade, smooth. And even though, yeah, we can just see that in advance. I'm going to give you a seed of 5. And it actually might be a little too extreme. Yeah, that works. Oh, on second thought, that does not. So the seed does exactly what it does in Minecraft and just randomizes the shape. So we're going to bring all these back into existence. Well, unexistence. But bring you back. And it seems to have picked up a few frames. Unfortunately for geometry nodes, I am gonna have to have it on rendered. But what we are gonna do, which will help, is lessen the amount but make it bigger. So I'm just gonna turn down that density a lot. What was this originally supposed to even be looking at? I think like the camera view. Yeah. So like, yeah, barely any. But instead, we're gonna make a minimum scale 1 for now. Actually, 2. 2. And make you 3. And then what we're gonna do is turn up the density some. And it is currently clipping out the model, but that is not a problem, as I can just do that. Or we can go into... This may seem like a mess, but this is my process for this. Yeah, I'm gonna do a brief check on the stream because I'm trying for just lag reasons and stuff to like not have YouTube up on my computer as I do it. Okay, it seems to be going well. Okay, so we're gonna go into wireframe view. Now, what it's supposed to do is let us see better, but that clearly ain't happening. Okay, and if we just do that, it gets smaller, so XY? No. No. There it goes. And this way, it should be just in the container. Okay, nothing poking out, but does it look good from outside? Ooh, okay, we can fix this. That might... What we can fix this might as well be my catchphrase in addition to secrets out. Because I end up saying that on stream a surprising amount. Wait, oh, I have another idea. I know it's like a displacement for instances. Translate instances might work. Or I could just... I might actually just have to go back to having these smaller. So 2. Okay, they're still sticking out. 1 and 1. Not sticking out, but we might run into that lag problem again. There, actually, that looks kind of good, and there's no lag problem. Okay, that is always really good to see. And next is, this doesn't really look like salt just now. So I know I had a material for it somewhere. Yeah. Oh, it looks like I actually got started on it last time. And nope, we gotta let the shaders compile again, possibly. Oh. Yeah. I'm gonna kind of make it like that Himalayan pink sea salt, maybe, because I really love that stuff. It's probably like the exact same, and it's just completely placebo, but give it a second to compile. Let's turn down the pink on this. That kind of gets the effect. I'm gonna get rid of that bump map. instead put this into alpha, and because we're in EB, we have to scroll down here to put it to alpha blend. If we would actually scroll down, my computer really does not like Blender and streaming at the same time, but I will not let that stop me. Alpha blend. Oh, it's still compiling. Wait, why is it? Oh, I forgot to realize the instance, so it's trying to compile 1,837 individual shaders. Now, one thing there, okay, that does not look good, but I'm gonna quickly fix that one thing by adding realize instances. Boom. Okay, it will deal with, kind of looks like fish gut. Okay, we can still fix it. That's kind of like the honorary second catchphrase. The rate things are going. I just want to have it have just a slight bit of transparency. And this is way too bright, and this needs to be mellowed out quite a bit. Okay, there, that looks less like fish guts. What's maybe increase roughness? Yeah, that looks kind of like salt. And the salt and pepper shakers, I do not plan on these being the only thing in the model. So let's quickly make the pepper, and then we can get started on the background. And this colorful grid, however pretty it may be, is not gonna stay. It is kind of used as a transparency and reflection test. Well, and because we're no longer using cycles, we can add, where the heck is it? Bloom, which is that subtle little glow. Bloom on, bloom off, on, off, on, off. It's really subtle, but it makes all the difference. So let's bring pepper into existence. After we bring salt out of existence. Actually, I might bring salt back in as reference for this. So what material did I end up? Okay, so I used T for you. Now we are gonna use this. Wait, what is this parented? Oh, they're parented to each other. If I move, oh yeah, I have an idea that might just be dumb enough to work. If I Control C, and I'm just gonna bring salt out of existence for now, and then Control V. Oh, I had some extra stuff selected. So let's unselect all and not make that mistake again. Control C. Takes all out of existence. Control V. Make sure salt. What the? Oh, it's because they're parented. Maybe if I just do a simple duplication, yeah, that's better. But where did it put? But wait, where did it put the duplicate? We are gonna put you in the pepper collection, and then take salt out of existence and hide you. Yeah, still works. Okay, now that we have this out, we are gonna make it look a bit more peppery, but first, which one of you is the parent? I think, yeah, you are. So if I go to your... I know this is like a bunch of me just mumbling as I try to figure this out, but that's kind of the fun of 3D art, is it's a lot of like technical stuff, but it creates some really beautiful end results. Right? Put bloom on. Yeah, I did. But I am happy to be streaming again. I ended up being too busy for a while, but I am back, baby. Yes! I knew that would work. Now we need to change your name. What did I call it for? But this just looks like a second salt shaker right now, and it is popping out in some points, but when it's out of rendered mode, that is fairly visible. That's one thing you'll find with a lot of 3D art is if you can't see it, it doesn't matter. Like, if you were to, like, clip out of bounds in a video game, that's why, like, there is just nothing but void outside of the map. But as I'm saying, this currently does not look like pepper, but we can fix that. Okay. And I think I'm going to take a second to check up on the stream, because we're nearing the half-hour mark. And once again, I am messing around with stuff on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, it seems to be working. Okay. I wonder how many times I've said okay this stream. Maybe there's a way to like download the closed captions after and like just count it using like Microsoft Word or Google Docs or something. We need to change its collection to Pepper Mini. And pepper and salt, believe it or not, look kind of different. So in this we're gonna new collection. Yeah, yeah, is that at the top? I totally knew that. We're gonna call this P underscore. I realize how unfortunate that sounds, but in context it makes sense. Okay. Now we need some pepper kernels. And I have some like off-screen reference images from the last time I worked on this model, which I'm gonna pull up for just me real quick. Yeah, I know they're around here somewhere. There it is. So as a thing, believe it or not, pepper kernels look completely different from salt. Now I'm gonna go for ungrounded pepper, even though there's not a grinder in this. But the art matters, not how realistic it is. Okay, and the reference images I had are horrible for this, so I'm gonna have to be doing this free style. Okay, so if we add let's add a cube, call it key 1. Yeah. And if we go back to this, we can then make that, and you see it is filled with the cubes. And oh, it's still using the salt texture, which we will have to change. For now, I'll just get rid of its texture altogether. Now, instead of a cube, actually, I might go for a sphere. Normally, I don't use icospheres, but because of the lag, I feel like I might have to. And this actually gets the shape quite well, and because there is a lot of them, it doesn't really matter that they look kind of low poly, because you will be seeing them from a distance and you can't really make it out. And I don't really think we will... would adding random misshapenness, like we did for the salt, work here? Yeah, I might just make a slight little... It kind of works, but like not enough that it's not different enough that I think I'd need like a different model for each one. So we are going to go back to this, and then the immediate change for this is definitely going to be making this much bigger. Okay, now you can actually tell it's kind of popping out of the glass, which is a bit of a problem. But, oh, is it actually? Oh, it's not. Now we just gotta turn up the density slightly for this. Okay, the FPS has not given out on me just yet. And now we can move on to texturing this. We are going to give it a new texture. And we're not really going to be able to use too much from the salt, because believe it or not, pepper is different from salt. I've made that joke 5 times already, but I will not stop. Okay, it is correct. And we might add, I think it's called, yeah, point info. Ramp. We need a color ramp. And this will kind of just add the effect to salt and pepper of just making it different colors. Oh, it still needs to compile the shader. Of course it does. Now, this might seem a little weird, but here, if we put this to constant, and as it loads, I can show you guys something of, this is actually the same effect I used to get like the bookshelf behind me. If I just pop out of existence for a second. Okay. But that, I was saying, it's the same effect that I used to get the random book colors. And I kind of want to use this thing to bring up like the whole AI art debate. I will not be taking a side on it for now, but oh, I haven't realized. So that actually that idea will not work. But the whole AI art debate, I will not put a thing in like one way or another for it, for the sake of remaining politically neutral on this channel. But what I will say is that I think there's serious potential for the AI and the artists working together, kind of like how for these textures are essentially just math that I'm telling the computer to do, but I'm giving it values. And it's different from like the plug in a word into an image generator and it makes it, which is what I'm specifically avoiding on this because I'm weirdly neutral on it, but because I'm not really in that, I feel like I'm not in that part of art that I can comment on it one way or another. But I am in, but like I think the idea of like AI assistance for it is really cool. Like we are just doing some randomized math here. Oh, I always forget to let it compile. You cannot see my mouse on this, but it is currently doing the little scroll wheel of doom. What the? Wait. I could have sworn that many little things on the ramp was not there before. Okay, I want to start with just two. So we need like some bit of wait, that should be the darker. This should be like the kind of yellowish, and this should be kind of that gray part. Yeah, I think if we make the yellow smaller, then add just some procedural noise. I think I'm gonna turn the distortion way up for this. Okay, yeah, that works. And then turn down the scale a lot. And I'm gonna make this a lot more muted. Like still noticeably yellowish, and I'm gonna make it a lot less. I think that does the job of selling the illusion of pepper some. But it needs one last little thing to really make it come to life, which will be a bump map. Of course, that has to compile again. Normally, Blender does not take this long, but because I am streaming, it is a bit slower because I'm bouncing like my processing power between like multiple things. To add another noise texture. Yeah. And one thing I also think there's potential for in the future is node-based coding. Like we've seen it with things like the website Scratch and that one Nintendo game. I think it was called something like Games Workshop. But I think we might see it used kind of more professionally in engines eventually. Gonna turn up that detail, turn up the roughness. Maybe let's actually keep the scale at 1 for this and undistort it. There, yeah. Now let's see how it looks next to Assault. What the? What? Why are you? Wait, you're using the wrong stuff. Okay. Time for my signature catchphrase of we can. It's like the geometry nodes are affecting both of them. Okay, that is odd. Like, there's still... Why are you... You guys are supposed to be different things. Even... this is kind of interesting. Because I could have sworn I said it so you guys would be different. But you're copying object data from each other. Do you still think you're a part of the other collection, perhaps? Let's see what it's parented to. Wait, so you guys have the right parenting, but you're using the wrong nodes. Okay. Control C. And then I am just gonna remove your geometry nodes and add new ones. Okay, crisis all but averted. Let's go. So now we gotta just fix you and make it back to the salt collection. Oh, and I am noticing that this is still going out of its container some. So I'm gonna turn down the max random value some. I'm just gonna make this 0 for now. But turn up the density. And I'm gonna, when I'm here, make a last minute change to the texture. I don't know why this is here. And yeah, it makes it more inexistent. And now I'm gonna just... Yeah, that's a bit more like salt, which is what we're looking for. It looks like one pepper kernel is popping out, so we're gonna have to fix that. You can just turn down the max size slightly. Bam, like it's never an issue, but now we have to turn density up to fix the gaps it created. Okay, now comes the fun part, the composition and the background. Now, I am debating whether or not just to do something more traditional like a table or whether to go full weird core with it. And just looking at this turned out well. What's your metallic on... Hey, you should have... Why are you reflecting each other? Oh. Well, we'll deal with that later. Or it might just look good this way. So the cop-out answer for backgrounds that I tend to use a lot is just an infinite black reflective plane, but I'm not going to do it for this one. Oh, why are you in that collection? You should be in the main one. And then we need to close out you out of existence. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for like a marble kitchen counter. Now, here's some cool stuff we're gonna do with this. You see this thing called composition guides. And this helps us get it perfectly on the rule of thirds. And for those of you who do not know what the rule of thirds is, boy, are you missing out on your art. You see, what the rule of thirds does is it's scientifically proven to like make your brain like the composition of an image more. So, and I'm gonna turn off the little guides. Maybe try and make that the exact middle. Are you the same height? Yeah, we can check this the manual way. Maybe I just have to make your Z position 0. There, that's better. And at the end, we're gonna add some depth of field to this. And one thing I like to do when working like this is have like a little split screen where one shows it from the camera view and the other does not. That way I can just work how I normally would in here. And 1 second. Sorry about that. Here we're gonna pull this side of the countertop to here. Pull this to here. And now, oh, of course it's off in that direction too. Yeah, it'd be the Y value. There it goes. And what we want to do is put it back however far we think it should go. And we now have to adjust by pulling these sides conveniently out of the screen. Because as I mentioned earlier, we 3D artists, if it's not going to appear on screen, we do not make it just poof, like it never existed. Probably because it doesn't. And now, I think I'm going to delete all unnecessary faces on this for the sake of the final render. And we are going to make the back wall of this image. I'm debating whether or not I should make it a different thing. I should probably add a shade smooth. Then I want to add a bit of a bevel, but I want it facing the other way. Oh. That is cool. I learned something new today. We can also pop a subdivision on this at the end. So what I like to do at this point is use placeholder colors just to tell where stuff is gonna go. Like I usually just use like some bright, hard to like confuse colors. And now I like to use yellow as my final primary color. Some people like to use green when it comes to choosing like base colors for something. I think it's a difference of like, do your eyes see it or do... Yeah, and let's also... I could have sworn I disabled that rule of third guideline. Okay. And it appears to be hovering some, which we can fix. We're gonna have a small amount of clipping, but you won't be able to see that in the final. Which is a sentence I'm saying a surprising amount today. But let's... Okay, so let's save this. And let's start with this material, which I'm gonna make... Oh. Missed a spot there. Which I'm gonna make like a marble countertop. Which this is actually really easy to do because of noise textures, which I've been using a lot here. Now we need a ramp. If we make this a little brighter, then if we turn up the metallic, let that compile real quick. Actually, I have another idea. We do this and also do it into bump. Yeah, this is gonna work, I think. Ah, favorite message, compiling shaders. Okay, and for the bump, we are going to make this effect a bit more extreme. If it actually would compile. In future streams, like, feel free to answer this in chat. Like, should I have background music? And if so, what genre? Okay. Oh, this... Oh, what the heck happened there? But that gives us kind of a rough effect. And I haven't actually played around with the clear coat thing much before. Hopefully this works. Hey, it's time to compile shaders again. Ah, my favorite Blender activity. And we are gonna fix that messy lighting. Did that work? If we just turn down the clear coat roughness, turn up the metallic. I really hope this works. Okay, that is... Huh. Maybe if I just turn down the strength quite a bit. If I make you a different color, we can get a better idea. So yeah, the lighting is not really getting affected by it. If I turn up the roughness for everything but the clear coat, okay, it's still shiny, but it's not reflective. Hey, give it a minute to compile shaders. Uh-oh. Okay, that made my heart soft for a second. I just got disconnected, reconnected message. Okay, so now there's no metallic. Now we turn it up. There is some, but it drastically changes upon the angle. Aw. Well, I'm gonna put you back to like kind of the more marbly I initially had you at. And I might just turn off the clear coat completely and get rid of the bump for now and make you metallic, but enough to get a reflection, but enough that you still look well like a countertop. Maybe I should turn up the specular. But it's gonna look better once we have like different lighting. And next we're gonna go work on this yellow color. And what we are gonna do is, this is actually one of my favorite textures to make. And then a ramp. Because of how simple it is to, like, compared to how good it looks. We are gonna add a noise. Oh, compiling shaders again. Oh, did it finish? Yeah, okay, so next we're gonna add a bump. And this is like the world's easiest wood texture. Okay, now I just gotta give it a second to compile. Okay. I was saying, if I had a penny for every like minute I've spent waiting for this to compile, I would have a whole new horde by now. Oh, and yeah, it doesn't really make it clear when it's done, but what we will do is, if we mess with the distortion value in the scale some, and we're gonna make this a lot more subtler, and we're gonna make this like a really bright, and then exact same thing, but we're gonna darken it some and change its shade. Then make it not stand out as much. We are gonna mess with the strength and make it only slight. Which leads us with just this, which is really simple for a wall texture. We're just gonna make it like a popcorn wall. I think those are what it's called. Noise, ramp, and bump. These are like our three like favorite nodes today, it seems. Now, I was just about to say, hey, didn't have to compile, but then it went along and had to compile. Ah. Yay. Now this instantly gets that popcorn wall effect. And we're going to make it just a tad bit more subtle. And now we've had some time, I'm gonna go back and just mess around with this some. Yeah. And now we are in the end not going to be able to see these the best. Try try to mess around and make this metallic. So like, wow, look, you can see the reflection of them in there. But for whatever reason, that doesn't seem to want to be happening. So I'm gonna turn down the metallic, but have like also low roughness. Yeah, that kind of gets the effect well. Well, that's kind of perfect. We're gonna darken this slightly. And now, before we have to add the lighting, okay, I always suck at like closing the tabs, but they made it super like easy in like a more recent update. We are gonna add. Hi, we had sworn you were supposed to be here. Dude, we're gonna add an empty, which is something you can't see uh like during the final render, but it still acts for the object for sake of behavior. I'm just gonna use a simple plain access, move it in between these, put it in the collection. Now, if we go back to our camera object and select depth of field, now go to rendered, this is where the fun begins. We can essentially blur the background. Well, I'm going to be moving this to the front for now, just so I can see what I'm doing. Wait, did I select the wrong object? Yeah, it is the empty. Yeah, I want just the salt and pepper. Oh my gosh, it's gonna drive me insane. I don't know, what did I hit? Wait, but why are you only focusing on the pepper? Like seriously, like you are no. Okay, this is bizarre. You bring like the salt into focus. Maybe if we like turn down the f-stop again. Thing is, might just be that the pepper has more detail. There's one more thing we can do. Ooh. Then there should be orientation. Well, make it a bit bigger so it has more stuff to work with. Local. Oh. Okay. That is more like it. So now we need those. It still has the exact ish same view, but we need to make this light a lot more powerful. You can hear like my mouse going up and down as I just drag it farther and farther. And we need to change your render distance. I can't remember if, I can never remember if it's an output or an under camera. Yeah, I think it's under camera. There. And now depth of field with the focus being the empty. D. Hopefully, if we... It's still the exact same problem. Well, I might just ditch the depth of field effect if I can't get it to work. I'm gonna try one more thing for the depth of field before I just give up on it, which is the view distance. There we can see it slowly coming into focus. It doesn't make any difference, so that got undone. And now, to finish off this stream, we are going to be fixing the lighting. And normally I'd probably do like the 3-point lighting setup, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to be a little sporadic. Well, actually, I might do something 3-point lighting-ish. Lessen the shadows some. And here we just gotta make it zoomed in here. I think that looks pretty good. And now it is time, I think, for the be-all end-all of any indie developer doing anything. Turn up the bloom. Oh, that is why it was taking quite a bit. I mean, maybe if I make you brighter, then we'll see that good bloom. Or maybe it's just... Where's the bloom? I have bloom turned on for a reason. Well, Well, actually, I think it's roughly time to wrap up anyway, so I'll give you guys a final render of how it turned out. Here, and I'll put it into OBS for you real quick. And it's taking a second to save. And I think that turned out pretty well. Okay, let's get this in OBS for the end of the stream. This one went a bit over, but all is fine. Okay. What the heck is just like image? Okay. Okay, I'm almost there. Let's see this load in. And here we are, the final image. I think this came out like pretty well. I don't know about you, but I am quite proud of this. And I think this is also where we're going to end off the stream for today. So